In today's video, you'll learn how to create this clean SaaS-style animation in Alight Motion. So, without wasting any more time, let's get started. First, add a square shape and set its color to violet, something like this. Then increase its size to around 5,000. And extend the duration to 8 seconds. Then add a rounded square shape. Then go to Edit Shape and set X to 395, Y to 111, and the radius to 200. Then extend its duration to 8 seconds as well. Then in Color and Fill, choose a rounded gradient and use colors like these. Then add a long shadow effect. Set its size to 0.004, angle to 270 degrees, color to light violet, and alpha to 100%. Then duplicate the layer, move it below the main layer, add copy background, and remove the long shadow effect. Then go to the blending mode settings and change it to linear dodge. After that, open Edit Shape and set X to 422 and Y to 136. Then we need to add a glow. To do that, duplicate the main layer and change its blending mode to linear dodge. After that, apply a Gaussian blur effect and set the strength to around 1.370. Now add a text layer and type Ask Gemini. Then apply this font, set the font size to 14 points, and set its color to white. And adjust the layer size to 1154. Finally, hold and drag the text layer below the shape layer. Now we need to animate the text. To do that, add the text transform effect. Then, in the transform settings, set the Y offset to 300 and the alpha to -1. After that, go to Interpolation and Easing. Set Ease in to 100% and Ease out to -100, and finally set the overlap to 700%. Then go to the Range section and add keyframes to the start value. Set the first keyframe to 0% at the beginning, then move to 1.11 seconds and set the second keyframe to 100%, just like this. Then add keyframes to the opacity. Keep the second keyframe at 100% and set the first keyframe at 0% at the beginning of the timeline. Then adjust its position like this. After that, tap the three dots and select Create Clipping Mask. Now we need to create 3 sparkling stars. To do that, add a star shape and go to Edit Shape. Change the points value to 4. Then set its color to white. After that, adjust the size to 75 and position it like this. Then duplicate the star layer and position it here. And then set its size to 59. Then create another duplicate of the star, position it here, and set its size to 51. Then select all 3 stars and extend their duration to 8 seconds. Now select the first star layer and add keyframes to its size. Keep the first keyframe at 75, then set the second keyframe at the end of the timeline to 61. Finally, apply the cyclic curve to make the animation loop smoothly. Now do the same for the other 2 stars. However, this time, set the second keyframe first, then make the first keyframe slightly smaller, just like this. Finally, apply the same cyclic curve to both of them. And now our animation should look something like this. Now add a null layer and extend its duration to 8 seconds. Then parent all the layers to the null layer, except for the background layer, just like this. Now, if you want to move the entire animation together, you can do it through the null layer, just like this. Now duplicate the text layer and move it above the null layer. Then rename it to your. Apply this font and set the font size to 8 points. After that, position it here and trim the layer so it starts at 114 seconds. Then duplicate this text layer and rename it to AI Assistant. After that, go to Color and Fill and apply a gradient similar to the one I'm using. Next, position it slightly to the side like this. And then drag the layer a little forward on the timeline. And now, our animation should look something like this. Now duplicate it once again and apply the same animation to this one as well. Now we have to make floating window animation. So for this, add a rounded square shape. Then go to Edit Shape and set the size to X equals 662 and Y equals 418, with the radius set to 39. After that, change its color to this one and reduce the opacity to 80%. Then position it here like this. After that, make the layer start at 1.11 seconds and extend its duration to 8 seconds. Now go to the position settings and add keyframes. First, place the second keyframe at its final position, then move to the first keyframe and shift the layer slightly downward. After that, apply this curve to smooth out the animation. Then duplicate this layer and apply a gradient similar to this one. After that, reduce its opacity to 10%. Then duplicate this layer once again and start adding effects. First, apply the copy background effect. Then add an inner glow effect. Set the radius to 6.5. Change the glow color to pink, and finally switch the layer's blending mode to linear dodge. Then add a rounded square shape and go to Edit Shape. Set X to 640, Y to 33, and radius to 25. After that, change its color to black, switch the blending mode to overlay, and reduce the opacity to 50%. Finally, position it like this and extend its length to match the other layers. Then parent this layer to our main layer, just like this. Now go to Edit Shape and add keyframes to the X size. First, place the second keyframe at its current size. Then move to the first keyframe and set the X size to 0. After that, apply the same curve we used earlier for the position animation of the main layer. Now add another rounded square and give it the same black color. Then set its opacity to 50% and change the blending mode to overlay. Finally, make sure its duration matches the other layers. Then go to Edit Shape and set X to 193 and Y to 352. After that, position it like this. Then go to Edit Shape and add keyframes. Keep the second keyframe at its normal size, then set the X value of the first keyframe to 0. After that, apply the same curve we used earlier. Finally, parent this layer to the main layer as well. Now import this image and change its blending mode to screen. Then position it here like this. After that, parent it to the main layer and extend its duration to 8 seconds. Now move to 2.03 seconds and place a marker there. Then create a duplicate of this text layer and move it to the very top of the layer stack. After that, make it start at 2.03 seconds and extend its duration to 8 seconds. Now turn off the text transform effect and apply the fade in/out effect instead. Then set the fade out duration to 0 seconds. Then move the layer here and rename it to Search Doc with AI. After that, set the font size to 5 points and position it like this. Next, reduce the opacity to 50%. Remove the second keyframe. And finally print it to the main layer. Then go to Add and insert this shape. Reduce its size and position it here like this. After that, set its opacity to around 65% and change its color to white. And finally parent it to the main layer. Then apply the same fade in/out effect that we used on the text layer. After that, make the layer start at 2.12 seconds. Then add a circle shape and change its color to red. Set its size to 19, just like this. And position it here. After that, make the layer start from this point. Apply the same fade in/out effect and parent it to the main layer. Finally, extend its duration to 8 seconds. Now duplicate this layer and change its color to green. Then move it slightly to the side. After that, create another duplicate. Change its color to yellow and move both layers a little further ahead on the timeline. Now our animation should look something like that. Then add a camera layer and enable the camera by tapping here. After that, move to 1.22 seconds and add the second keyframe. Then go back to the first keyframe, zoom in using the Z position, and adjust it like this. Finally, copy and paste the same curve we used earlier. So guys, that was part one of the SaaS animation tutorial. I split it into two parts because the video was getting a bit too long, so you can follow along properly without it feeling rushed. Part two is coming next week, where we'll finish the rest of the animation. So make sure you're subscribed and have the bell icon on so you don't miss it. If you enjoyed this video, drop a like and let me know in the comments if you're excited for part two. See you in part two. Until then, keep practicing. Bye-bye.